It's Wednesday night, and we're back live on the Big Mountain.
It is Wednesday night, and it is a special Wednesday. We had a really special Wednesday night last week, 2-year anniversary. But we have 33 picks. That's why we started the channel. I'm excited.
Week 1, it's football season. Let's go, baby.
Week 1, it's football season, and we've got another Dweller Brew. For anyone that saw my little box opening yesterday, I literally posted it everywhere. X, YouTube, Instagram. I put it all over the damn place.
Yeah, so what is it called?
So this is Gun Rock. That's the name of the horse. Gun Rock, which is the Aggie for the UC Davis Aggies. Shout out to, this is Sudwork Brewing in Davis, California. We got a little goodie box from Rocco DeLuca, the AD there at UC Davis. He gave us some Dweller Brews. He gave us some shirts, which I'm going to wear mine next week. We had to match today on our first week one pick. Yeah. But I'll wear my UC Davis shirt next week. And
these were the shirts we wore to Mountain West Media Days. We have these specially made to wear to Mountain West Media Days. So I wanted to wear them this week for week 1. Are we ready to crack it?
Well, I'm trying to. Yeah, this is a 6.3% hazy IPA, and I'm excited. Let's crack it.
Go Ags.
Woo!
Ooh, it's bubbly.
I mean, I like to smell the IPAs first. See how fragrant they are. Smells like a very good hazy IPA. Absolutely. Very good hazy IPA. See, I can drink. I'm not an IPA guy, but I do like the hazies.
The hazies are better than the regular.
New England, the hazies. I can get into them. And yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Well done. Thank you, UC Davis Aggies. We always had to do that first. And this is our 4th Dweller Brew. We had the Red Wave. We had the Old Crimson Lager. We had the State Light. Now we have Gun Rock.
Dude, the horse is awesome.
He's pretty cool, isn't he?
Yeah. So is the horse's name Gun Rock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep. So thank you so much, UC Davis. I think, Steve, you wanted to talk. We'll talk a little bit about kind of the week 1 schedules here. Then we'll get into our picks. Why don't you start with the Big Ten?
Yeah, huge week for the Big Ten coming out. 18 games. Everybody's playing. So let's throw the Big Ten schedule up there. There's going to be, let's see, while we're bringing it up, I think there's going to be 4 games on Thursday.
Yep. 2 on Friday.
2 on Friday.
Yep. And then what do you got? Freaking 13 or 14 on Saturday.
Yeah, just a massive night. I'm really looking forward to, I'm just touched real briefly, Thursday night, that Nebraska-Cincinnati game. That's going to be at Arrowhead Stadium, so we're going to be picking that shortly. That's a great way to get out of the blocks. And then Friday night, both Michigan State and Illinois. Illinois is a team that I'm big on this year, so getting to see them Friday night. And then the huge, massive Texas and Ohio State big noon kickoff, the first week of the season, will be huge. And and I'll be headed to the Penn State game.
Yes, you will.
Watch them host the Nevada Wolfpack.
Yes, you will.
So yeah, just a huge. We wanted to throw a schedule up there, and just so everyone could see all the different games, where you can find the games. Just a fantastic lineup this week. Did you want to show
Week 1 is awesome, and you invited me to the Nevada Penn State game. Yep. I'm actually going to the Wyoming Akron game tomorrow night. I'm going to be doing a live pregame show, probably a live halftime show if I can get it in, but definitely a live pregame show. Wyoming Akron. I've already invited the Akron athletic director on. He said yes, he will join me. And I'll probably have a lot of other special guests. There's quite a bit of a Wyoming contingent going to this game. And I'll be doing a live show right here on YouTube and probably on X. I'm going to try to get both at the same time if I can. So we're going to be, live Mountain West game, live Big Ten game. Yeah. First time ever that's going to happen in a weekend.
And the first time ever that you've gotten to see your Wyoming Cowboys in person play. So I think that's a pretty momentous occasion.
I am extremely excited to see the Cowboys play live, and Akron, Ohio is probably, like I've been saying, about as close as I'm going to get.
Yes.
So if I'm going to do it, it better happen right now. Steve, before I go to my schedule, there was a question here from Fia. We weren't planning on talking about this, but I'll let you give your thoughts real quick because it's not a surprise.
Okay.
For you.
Yeah.
But Fia says that the Maryland AD stated earlier this week, maybe it was yesterday, that the Big Ten will have 20 teams by 2030.
Yeah, there was an article out today. Totally did not surprise me. Anyone who's listened to our show, the two big things he said was there'll be 2 additional teams added. He wouldn't give names because he said some things might change. And the other thing he said is it's 100% not going to be Notre Dame. That Notre Dame is fully dedicated to staying independent, and the Big Ten is not trying to force anything. Everybody is okay with the status quo. So 2 new teams added by 2030, and one will not be Notre Dame. And again, not a surprise to me, and shouldn't be a surprise to any of our dwellers who have been.
You know who I've heard say this many a time over the past 2 years?
TBM
Steve, my
yes.
good friend Steve, has said exactly that.
Yep.
Now confirmed by an AD. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I think we know who those 2 teams, at least one of them, who one of them is going to be. All right, we're not going to go down the realignment route, but so yeah, the AD telling you what Steve's been telling you. I want to give a quick shout out. Steven's in the house. Jared, he says go Pokes. Hopefully, Jared, you can join us. Join me tomorrow for our live show. Remember, that's a 7 o'clock game Eastern, so that'll be a 5 p.m. game. Am I doing that right? Yes. And 4 p.m. game, sorry. And I will be... What?
Is that West Coast, East Coast?
No, that's Mountain Time Zone. Wyoming Mountain, yeah, so 2. So 5 p.m. game. I'll be going on live 4 p.m.-ish Mountain Time will be my pregame. About an hour before game time is when I'll do the pregame. I'm going to try to do the pregame. So Big Mama's here. JEH is here. Justin, another Pokes fan. We've got Las Vegas Larry, a member. Moses, a member. Ricardo, a UTEP fan. Going to be picking you guys in a little bit. Will, collegiate athletics advocate. He just put out an episode today about the Mountain West. Check out Will's channel. Check out his thoughts on the Mountain West. I'm going to watch it later when we're done with our live show. I want to see what he has to say. He's talking about maybe some new members. Ooh. Yeah. Fear, we talked about that question. Spencer's here. Good to be back to the Big Mountain. It's great to have you back to the Big Mountain. Sergeant is a member. Bill is up in here. There's Rumblings. There's Han. There is Jerry Keenan. And real quick, now that I see some of these names, I apologize to those that were winners last week. I have not gotten anything shipped out yet. JY is in the worst time of year at work.
It's been busy.
It's a pain in my ass. Of course, the funnest time in college football, it's a pain in the ass at work. But I will be getting those shipped out. I'm going to try hard to get them out tomorrow. Before I leave for my little jaunt to Akron, Ohio, I'm going to try to get them out. Eric Ashton, our newest member, welcome aboard, sir. You were going to say something.
Well, Han is talking about how that UC Davis game against Mercer was declared a no contest. You can't even find stats. It's like it never happened. It's kind of interesting.
You know what I did?
What's that?
I parlayed the Tarleton and the UC Davis game.
I'm hoping it was a push.
No, I won.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I won.
Oh, okay.
They gave me my money.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, okay. Wait a minute. What are you doing? Oh, schedules. Mountain West schedules. So here's the Mountain West schedule, just like you, just like the Big Ten. We got some Thursday games. We got some Friday games. We got some Saturday games. So the Thursday games, we got Boise at USF. We got YO at Akron. I just talked about that. We got Stony Brook and San Diego State, the real wing dinger of the entire week 1 for the Mountain West, Stony Brook. And then Wednesday, we've got the UNLV Sam Houston game. I did a preview of that game that dropped today. Big game for UNLV coming off an interesting week 0. And then we also have a team that I have high hopes for, San Jose State. They're playing Friday night. I love these 2 Friday games because they're later on.
Yes.
One of the reasons I'm a Mountain West fan, I can watch both of these games at 10:30 Eastern time, and I love it. And then we got all the other games there on Saturday. Of course, we're going to get through them in our picks. But man, look at everything that they're on. I mean, you can see all these games, other than I think it's 1 or 2, and I can't see it, that you'd have to go through the Mountain West app. Everything else is on TV, man. Like, let's go, Mountain West.
Love it.
Yeah. So, hey, let's get to what we're here for.
Yeah.
33 week 1 picks. And what we're going to do is we're going to go day by day.
Okay.
We're going to pick all of the Thursday games. So you have 4, I have 3. We'll pick those. Then we'll go to Friday, 2 and 2. Then we'll go to Saturday. You do all your Saturdays, and I'll end up with the Mountain West on Saturday. So we're gonna sprinkle it in. We don't usually do it this way, but that's how we're gonna do it tonight.
Well, we had to get you involved a little earlier because if I would have picked 20 games in a row, you would have finished your dweller.
I was gonna say my gun rock would have been gone. I'd be under the table
yeah,
sleeping.
Yeah.
So I tried to pull in. I thought about doing that a little differently, and I thought, hey, let's go by day here.
Love it.
Because, Thursday's tomorrow.
Yes.
So we got to get these picks out so people can get on their daggone app and get these bets in because we have some locks for tomorrow's games.
And you know what? I'm coming right out the gate.
Do it. Let's go. Number one.
Okay, number one. Let's start. Let's make some picks. So we got the Ohio Bobcats at Rutgers. I think JEH earlier said go Bobcats, and he said all of them. And I'm pretty sure we have Stephen Vitt here as well. So Ohio at Rutgers. I'm taking Ohio plus the 15.5 points, and I'm making that the first Big Mountain ice cold lock. Rutgers this year, I think we were high on them last year, and they pulled it out for us. But this year, I think might be one of those kind of you have an up and down cycle. This is maybe going to be the down year. They've had some injury problems. I'm not sure what that offense is going to look like beginning in this season.
Yeah.
So I think they win this game most likely, but I love them getting over 2 touchdown points. I see this being a close game, just where Rutgers, they just try and get their offense going. They have some stumbles, and then at a certain point, they just try and run the ball and run the game out. So I'm taking Ohio plus 15.5, and like I said, I made that our first Big Mountain ice cold lock.
And Ohio are a team that you picked to win the MAC this year.
Absolutely.
So I like it. And I know you're a little concerned about Rutgers. They're going to take a step back probably from last year. Some of that schedule, some of that just, yeah. And Ohio's got a good team. So
they lost one of the best running backs in the Big Ten to the draft last year. And from what I understand, they're starting, it's either left tackle or right tackle is out for the year.
Yes.
And this was a guy they brought in and was going to replace somebody.
Okay.
They really couldn't afford for him to not be playing, and now he's out for the year. So
all right.
That's going to be rough.
Well, Will says he loves him a Wednesday night. He loves him a Dweller Brew. We're drinking the Gun Rock. Let us know what you're drinking at home. And let's go on to pick number 2. So we're coming out hot with a lock. Now we go to 2.
I saw Big Mama was drinking her orange drink. So
of course.
Yeah.
With lime chips.
With lime chips, yep. All right. Buffalo at Minnesota. Again, Minnesota is a team that I'm high on this year. I think they're firing on all cylinders. I was kind of worried about their quarterback play, who they were going to name. I've looked at some practice reports. I think they're fine at that position. I really honestly think this may be one of the better teams that they've had there under PJ Fleck.
Okay.
So I'm going with Minnesota to cover the 17.5, hosting Buffalo. I thought about locking it. If it was under the 2 touchdown mark, I would have, but just the 17.5, don't love that line. Minnie is a team who, has a history of they get a lead and then they just take the air out of the football. And so, but I am taking Minnesota to cover the 17.5 points.
Buffalo, a team that's picked very high up in the Mid-Atlantic Conference. So a good test here, I think, for both teams.
Yes.
Buffalo looking to have a good season. Minnesota, as you said, going to be a pretty strong team. It's a decent line there. I'm not surprised you're not going to lock that because I think Buffalo, they got a good team coming in here. So.
Yeah, I struggled with that the line there. I mean, the line. I guess that means it's a good line when it makes me
right.
struggle.
Yes, right.
I was really hoping this was going to be like 13.5, 14.5, but yeah, picking Mini to cover the 17.5.
I even called them Mini.
Yeah,
just because Minnesota's so
it.
long, I wasn't changing the font.
Yeah,
Mini, and I forgot to lose. Whatever.
Got to do it.
Beggars can't be choosers. I'm busy, damn it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so let's move on. We got a game number 3, huge, massive game for the Big Ten this year, for Nebraska, for their chances of possibly making a college football playoff. They have one of the easier schedules in the Big Ten this year. So Nebraska is playing Cincinnati. Cincinnati is listed as the home team, but it's going to be playing in Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah.
Nebraska, if I remember correctly, they just played in Arrowhead Stadium maybe a couple years ago, I think, against Kansas. So they have some history there. This is probably going to be more of a home game for Nebraska. I think Nebraska is ready to go. I think they're locked in. I'm very high on them this year. Part of it's because they have an easier schedule, but part of it is I really like this roster and what they've done with it.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Nebraska to cover the 6.5. I love the fact that it's under a touchdown. I love it so much, I'm making it another Big Mountain ice cold lock.
Yes.
Boom.
I've been on this game for quite a while.
Yeah.
I think you've talked about this before.
Yeah, I gave it
An early line, and I liked it so much I went on it twice. So I hope you're correct, and I like this one. There's another one you're going to give a little bit later that I'm also on a couple times because I liked it so much I went for it twice.
Yep.
But this one I'm on pretty heavy. This is the heaviest game that I'm on in week 1.
Yeah.
Thanks to my good friend Steve.
It was so nice. I hammered it twice.
There you have it.
Okay.
Pick number 4, and then we're going to JY.
Yeah. All right. So pick number 4, another MAC team here where there's a trend. Miami of Ohio at Wisconsin. Again, we've talked about Wisconsin. This just being a rough year for Luke Fickell. They have a tough schedule. I think Wisconsin gets this win. Really, they better get this win. But Miami, I think, is another solid MAC team. The line is 17.5. I'm taking Miami plus the points, plus the 17.5. I think Wisconsin wins this game, but I think it's probably more of a low-scoring game, kind of a slog. I think Miami just makes it difficult on them. I have trouble seeing Wisconsin win this game by more than 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
So I'm going with Miami plus the 17.5.
Man, another top Mid-Atlantic team here. Holy cow, this is like the Big Ten versus the MAC here in week 1. The only top team you don't have is freaking Toledo.
Yeah.
You got the other 3 for crying out loud with Ohio, and you just hit them all. Ohio, Miami of Ohio, and Buffalo.
Yep.
And you've picked, of course they're getting points, but you're taking 2 of the 3 for the spread.
Yep.
2 of the 3 MAC teams.
In similar lines with Minnesota and Wisconsin, so you can see there who I have faith in and who I don't as far as the Big Ten teams.
I want to give a shout out to Steven. He said he was a guest on Night Watch, a Rutgers podcast, to preview the Ohio Rutgers game. May have to check that out. Yeah, good job, Steven. Awesome, dude. If there's one guy I know that knows the Ohio Bobcats, it's Steven.
Yeah, I mean, he knows the whole MAC pretty good, too.
Yeah, he does, for sure. All right, well, let's get to some JY picks on Thursday night. The first one at 5:30 Eastern is the Boise at USF game. The line now down to 5.5 today. It was 6.5 earlier in the week. It's now at 5.5. I think this is a very interesting game for Boise State coming out of the gates. Going south there into Florida. They went into Georgia Southern last year. Apparently they like that southeast starting the season. And, of course, we're going to see what they got without Genty.
Yes.
We did a whole preview on them. I'm not going to go over the team. Still very high on this team. But a very interesting week 1 matchup. I'm, of course, going to pick Boise State, giving the 5.5. I think they win this by about a touchdown. I like them at the 6.5. I still would have picked Boise. I like them at that touchdown win. So taking 5.5, giving 5.5, I should say, and having Boise win here. But I would not be surprised if Boise actually lost the game. Like, I don't want them to.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me. This is a very difficult test, I think, going down to USF.
I think this is a massive, massive game right out of the gate. As far as the CFP implications for the G6 programs, both of these teams have a huge chance to make an impression, a resume builder right away out of the gate. And I like how Boise has scheduled these. It's a good resume builder. It's a good way to get them kind of on the national radar going south at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
And if they're able to go down and get a win at USF, I think that's huge. Especially then, that takes pressure off of them for the rest of their non-conference schedule, including the Notre Dame game.
Yes, for sure. Right. Next game is the game I'm going to. Wyoming versus Akron. This is in Akron, Ohio. This line has now moved down to 5.5. Again, it was actually at 7.5. I wasn't a huge fan at 7.5. Kind of right there again at that touchdown mark. But if you saw my preview, if you saw the discussion I'd had with Cody Tucker of 7220 Sports, I'm high on this Wyoming offense. And Akron, yes, they bring back their starting quarterback, but running back room, wide receiver room, it's a bunch of new guys, inexperienced guys there at offense. So the defense should be able to handle Akron here. If they don't, we're in for another 3-9 season, I do believe. I don't think that's going to be the case. I really like the Wyoming Cowboys. So minus 5.5. I'm taking the Cowboys here, as I will be in stadium, live pregame show, and I'm locking them, Steve.
All right, I was waiting to
mountain,
see.
Ice cold lock. Wyoming Cowboys minus 5.5.
Love it. I love that you're going out Going out strong, coming out strong right out the gate. I'm excited for you to be there in person. Again, I think this is a really good opportunity for Wyoming
Yes.
just to get their season started on the right track. It's cool that they're playing at Akron and you're able to go there. And I wanted to say real quick, we had was it Jared says hello from South Dakota. So
There
we
you
got
go.
maybe some Jackrabbits fans joining us.
I love that. You might be talking about a former Jackrabbit here shortly.
Ooh, oh yes, yes.
But the other thing I wanted to say about this game, as a Wyoming Cowboy fan and hopeful for a much better season, I think they need to win this by double digits. I want to see a 2-touchdown win by them. Like, that's what they need to, if they're going to be the team I think they can be, this needs to be a 10 to 14 point win. And I think it can be. I mean, I'm locking them, not on a hope and a prayer. I do believe that that's the case. I will say at 7.5, I wouldn't have locked it.
I'll be honest. I'm surprised at which way the line has gone. I don't know what drove that line movement.
Yeah.
I really thought it might go to like 8.5.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last one I have, and then we'll get to the Friday games, is the Stony Brook at San Diego State. The line here, 18.5. I just think this offense is going to get going here for the Aztecs. Second year with Coach Lewis and his Aztec Fast. As he told us, this is his team. He brought in these players. It's on him. They're playing Stony Brook, a nice, call it easy game coming out of the gate down there in SoCal. I got to take the Aztecs at minus 18.5. I think they take care of business. I think they're able to score plenty of points, and they have a strong defense still. The issues they've had is scoring points.
Yes.
It's not that they haven't had good defenses. They've had good, and they still have a good defense. But I think they'll be able to score points here in this game.
I'm really interested to see if they fully implement the tempo part of the Aztec Fast.
Sure. Yep.
I did a lot of reading that last year they felt like they just didn't have the players to run that.
Yes.
This year the coach says it's his players. He picked them.
Yep.
So if you're going to go with it, you're going to go with the tempo, which is the main part of his offense. This is the game that you got to get it going this game. This is a good practice game to get it going.
Absolutely. Han saying, go UC Davis. Again, UC Davis, drinking the number 4 Dweller Brew. You read that one earlier, though.
Yes, I did.
All right. It skipped on me again, so I'm trying to figure out where the heck we were. Okay. Back to you, Steve. Friday games. Who you got? Michigan State.
Yeah, let's roll. So Friday games here. Only 2 games, but I think both interesting. So first, Western Michigan at Michigan State. I think Michigan State's going to win this easily, so I'm taking them to cover the 21 points, which is a weird. FanDuel doesn't usually do full point line spreads. It's usually half points.
Yes. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I had to do a double take.
Me
I'm
too.
like, where's the 0.5?
Yes. So I like them to cover that, and who knows? Maybe it moves down to 20.5 or something before kickoff.
Yeah.
But I like them. I like them to cover the points here. Not enough to lock it. 21 is a lot of points. But I like Michigan State to cover that. And let's just move on right on to the next game because I don't think there's too much to talk about there.
Sure.
Western Illinois at Illinois. Illinois is 45.5 point favorites.
A lot of points.
Yes, I'm taking Illinois to cover. I'm not going to lock it just because it's so many points. Anything over 40 is just stupid. Like I don't think I've ever locked a game that high. However, I expect Illinois to cover this. I expect them to do really, really well. The offense to just do great under Luke Altmaier. I'm huge on Illinois this year. I think they're going to have a fantastic record and compete for not only a Big Ten championship but a CFP spot this year.
Yep.
The reason I wouldn't lock this game, 45-point line, they could be up by that much, pull their starters.
Right.
Western get some garbage time points, whatever. So,
Right.
But I really like Illinois, so I'm picking this game for them to cover 45.5. I don't know that I'm going to bet it at that number,
Right.
But I like them to cover.
You'll be betting Illinois quite a lot, I believe, this
Yes,
year. Maybe
yes.
this isn't the game yet to do that.
Yeah.
And Spencer here says, thank you, boys, for the week 0 picks. Talks about how poor Stanford look, especially when they were only playing a one-legged, injured quarterback. And as I said, I think I think Hawaii would have ran away with that game in the second half if he didn't get hobbled. Yes.
And yeah, so let's talk about week 0 real quick.
We went 3-1.
Yeah, went 3-1.
Yeah.
We pegged that Stanford game and Hawaii game absolutely perfect. Like you said, it would have it would have gone more
Yes.
the other way if the quarterback wasn't hurt. And and what did I say about Stanford? I said
You said they're not good.
they're probably the worst P4 team this year, and that they have kind of a high school roster. That quarterback was just terrible. Like, he was so bad. So yeah, we had a good week 1.
When Gobranson, who was from Oregon State,
Yes.
when they got pressure at him, he just shoved it into the ground.
Yes.
So, and I want to say, in fairness, I'm not sure he had a lot of open receivers. See, that's the one thing it's hard to see on TV, because they don't, they're not giving the full field. You don't know what the coverage looks like until a ball's thrown and then they pan to that degree. I've kind of heard that he didn't have a ton of openings, but still, to your point, didn't look very good.
He had some guys where I think the biggest thing is when he was under pressure. I definitely saw some plays where he had some guys he could have made a throw and he wasn't. There was one play he made a throw under pressure. It was just a little dump off and ended up going along. But how about that? Did you see the interception that he threw in that game? Where he tried
the whole game.
He tried to throw the little screen pass over the guy.
And the guy
leapt like 10 feet in the air.
And honestly, that was a pick 6 if he didn't kind of trip over himself a little bit.
But that was an amazing play by the defender.
It was a very good play by the defender. I want to jump down here real quick. Justin, our good friend. I figured I would put my money where my mouth is. I am saying 20 that Wyoming covers. Dun, dun, dun. Oh. There it is. Again.
Drone fund. Yeah, love it.
I missed the most important part.
Yeah.
Drone fund. And yes, I locked it. Yep. So I agree with Justin. And, maybe Justin can join me on the live show tomorrow.
Is he on Twitter? Is he on X? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm sure he'll tell us.
Yeah.
I know Eric is. Eric replies to my stuff quite often. But thank you again, Justin. He's putting money where his mouth at. $20. Wyoming covers. Dunsky. Drone fund has begun.
Love it.
That was your idea, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
You're flying it. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't. They won't insure me to fly those.
We may have to take our producer and have him fly.
That's probably the best idea yet. All right, let's get to 2 of the Friday Mountain West games. We've got UNLV going south to Texas to play Sam Houston State. Preview just dropped today. Preview for this show. Had a cool guy reach out to me, an independent, Bearcat Beats. Bearcat Beats newsletter. Really cool dude. And, he talked a little bit about Sam Houston and the good, the bad, the ugly. But the line here is today, 9.5. I picked it last week at 12.5.
Yep.
So those that follow us know that when we pick early lines, we stick with those lines.
Yep.
Because we think we like the line at the time, and it's probably going to get worse.
Yep.
Well, we all know what happened to UNLV.
Yeah.
And the line got better. It's now at 9.5.
Yeah.
Jay Weiss picks 12.5.
Yeah.
Right? You can get it now for a discount of a field goal at 9.5. And I would do that because I think Sam Houston's defense is going to be very, very porous.
Yes.
And I believe that you're going to see adjustments made here by UNLV. I don't think it's going to be a dramatically different defense, but I think it's going to be a better defense, certainly. And I still like the line. Take it 9.5, take it 12.5. I think UNLV covers.
Can I have a quick heart-to-heart with our UNLV fans out there?
Go.
I'm going to tell you, and JY, we were in the Discord, the TBM Discord.
Absolutely.
We had a great chat going about that game. And I'm gonna repeat what I said in that chat.
Go.
All of the problems that I saw on defense, they're all about they're fixed by coaching, by better communication. Those were not talent issues that I saw on the defense. And we're this was the first game under a new coach with a whole bunch of new players that have never played together. And all of those things are adjustments, are coaching, and so now they had this game. They had a bunch of mess ups on defense. Now they've had their week. It is a short week, but they've had their week of coaching and practice. Look at the film, look at the tape.
Right.
I think there's some coaching areas where they can. The announcers were making a big deal about the whole 4-2 versus 4-1 alignment.
Right.
And when they went into the 4-1, they were really getting beat by the run. So I'm sure the coaches will look at that. But a lot of it, honestly, was They play wide gaps. We talked about this
Yes.
in the Discord.
Yes.
They play wide gaps on the defensive line, and it's the linebackers' jobs to come in and fill those gaps.
Right.
And they were not doing it. They were out of position. They weren't communicating. So for me, I know there's a lot of people who are probably like, "Oh my gosh, this is terrible. The world is ending." Whatever. I think most of the issues we saw on defense are easily coachable, easily fixed, coaching and communication. And I will say, I don't know if you agree with this. I really love. I think they found their quarterback, their main starting quarterback. What's his name?
Calandria.
And he played fantastic. I thought.
Yep.
They need to get some more consistency going on offense, and I still think there's a chance for some orgy packages, which
Yes.
is what I said from the beginning.
Yeah.
And he did have a running touchdown later
Yep.
in that game. And to me, that's how Calandria needs to be getting 80% of the snaps, and Orgy needs to be coming in on specific packages. And I still feel as good about them as I did, which sounds crazy because they almost lost the game to what is an FCS team.
A decent FCS team.
Yes, but I still am high on UNLV.
Well, and that was what I kind of said in my recap of the week 0 game. I was very impressed with Calandra. To me, he's got to be the number one now. Bring in Orgy for packages.
Yep.
Great runner.
Yep.
I get that. But I was very impressed with everything about Calandra, his throwing, his running, his ability. Like, he's the starter for this team, in my opinion. Then you got Jet Thomas that just finds a hole and he's off to the races. So anyway, I know we've had a lot of people talking kind of back and forth on UNLV, whether they do rebound, whether they don't rebound. We got Mario in the house. He's drinking some Bud Light, and we're going to go on. I have, what is it? Central Michigan versus San Jose State, a team that I'm very high on. The line here, Steve, 13.5. This is in Cali, in San Jose State. And I love this line. At under 14, this is my second Big Mountain ice cold lock on the San Jose State Spartans to cover 13.5. I think they cover this easily. So, yeah, I love this line. I couldn't believe it was this low.
Yeah, the Central Michigan's crossing the country.
Yep.
Jim McElwain retired last year. It's kind of a rebuilt team. They were already kind of low on talent anyways. Both of us high on San Jose State.
Yep.
And again, traveling all the way over there, I agree with you. I was surprised at the line. I thought the line would have been more than 2 touchdowns, so I'm not surprised that you're locking it.
Yeah, and we've come out hot and heavy here, Steve. We've had 4 ice cold locks in 10 picks. And we're going back to you here. We're going to let you finish it out.
Yeah.
So Saturday, Big Ten games. Then we'll come back to me. Well, I should say Big Ten and a few others. Mm-hmm. And then we'll come back to me for Mountain West and 1 additional pick.
Yeah, so I got 13 games here for Saturday. I'm going to kind of just roll through them. But we got to start the biggest game probably of the season so far for college football is Texas at Ohio State. Arch Manning at Texas traveling to Columbus to play Ohio State in the shoe. Yep. For me, I think when you look at this Texas roster, and honestly, they're bringing back a lot of players from last year. Arch Manning wasn't their starter, but he played a bunch last year. He started some games.
Right.
Texas gets a bunch of players back that were injured last year. They did lose some players to the draft for sure. But I think early season, they're going to be more just kind of together as a team. Mm-hmm. Whereas we've talked about, I have some concerns at the beginning of the season, especially for Ohio State. New starting quarterback that was just named about a week ago. Brand new offensive coordinator, brand new defensive coordinator. A lot of new faces on the offensive line and defensive line. I said I thought Ohio State would struggle, especially early in the season. If these two teams were playing each other at the end of the season or in the playoff, my pick might be different.
Yeah.
But I'm taking Texas plus 2.5, and I'm making that a gigantic Big Mountain ice cold lock. Gigantic. I mean, that's huge. A huge game.
I thought you meant you were like super duper sure about the pick.
No. Just a huge game. Texas plus 2.5. I'm surprised that Texas is getting points. I think Ohio State, everybody just figures, okay, it's Ohio State. They got so much talent. They're just going to be good. You know what? Texas has a lot of talent as well. Mm-hmm. They have more experience. They're not changing over as much. So, again, I'm taking Texas plus the 2.5 points. I think they win outright. So, look at the money line on that if you're a money line guy or gal. But I like Texas plus the 2.5, and I made it a Big Mountain ice cold lock. Now, again, I would pick this game maybe differently if it was the last game of the season or into the CFB. But right now, I like Texas to just win this game outright.
Well, it's the first time you mentioned the words money line.
Yeah.
You did that last week
Yes.
on Iowa State, and guess what?
They hit.
They hit both the spread and the money line. So you got them. We don't talk money line too often.
Yep.
But when you have these smaller spreads, especially against teams that you like,
Yep.
and you're locking, you clearly think that they're going to cover.
Yep.
And they're getting points here. So there's a money line bet. If you guys like that, I have no idea what the odds are, but certainly a little bit better than what the spread odds are going to be. So.
Yeah, so let's move along. We got some not quite as exciting games. How do you follow up after Texas Ohio State?
Yeah.
You go with Florida Atlantic at Maryland.
That's close.
Yeah. So Maryland, again, a team that I think is going to really struggle to win games in the Big Ten this year, maybe to win games at all. They should win this game, but I'm taking Florida Atlantic plus the 14.5. I just don't think Maryland is going to have enough offense, especially at the beginning of the season. They're really still trying to figure out things. I think they likely win this game, but I love Florida Atlantic getting over 2 touchdowns. So I'm not locking it, but I am picking Florida Atlantic plus 14.5 against Maryland.
Okay. Well, I know you're not high on Maryland.
No.
And Florida Atlantic's a solid team.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that.
Just too many points.
I understand. Our friend Will thinks it's very dangerous to lock the Texas Ohio State game just because it's such a big game. But you know your stuff.
I like to live dangerously.
Okay. Vicariously?
No, dangerously.
My bad.
Yeah.
All right. Now you're going to another wing dinger. Probably.
Yes.
Maybe the biggest wing digger of the bunch.
Yeah, another Ball State. They're a MAC team, right?
They are. I was
Yes.
just going to say, man, we have another MAC team.
Another
playing.
MAC team versus another Big Ten team that I think is really going to struggle this year as they put together a new roster and a new team. So Ball State at Purdue. I'm taking Ball State plus 18.5. Again, similar reasoning to Maryland. I think that Purdue is just going to have trouble at the beginning of the season getting their stuff together, getting their act together, putting a lot of points. I think Purdue probably gets a win here. I mean, this is one of their best chances to get a win of the year. They probably win this game, but that's just way too many points. I think Ball State will just annoy them, give them problems. I don't see Purdue winning by anywhere close to 3 touchdowns, so I'm taking Ball State plus 18.5.
Yeah, but Ball State's not real good either.
They're not. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was actually, you send me your picks so I can do the slides. I was a little, I know how you feel about Purdue, don't get me wrong. I was a little surprised that you were taking the points there with Ball State. I want to give a shout out to Eric. He says it's a shame that the Ohio State and the Texas game's at noon because he is going to be watching that, doing his tailgating down in Athens for the Georgia game.
Yeah.
He's got, he's got Georgian season tickets.
Who is this again?
Eric.
Eric. Oh,
Ashton.
yeah.
So I get it, but it's that big noon stuff.
Yeah.
They got to make their money.
Absolutely.
That's what
Fox
they do.
loves it.
They
Yeah.
do. Okay, so where are we going now?
Yeah, so next one, another team that I'm not so high on, a Big Ten team I'm not so high on, against a team that I picked to win a G6 conference. So Northwestern at Tulane. The line is 5.5. Tulane is 5.5 point favorites. I'm taking Tulane to cover that 5.5, and I'm making it a Big Mountain ice cold lock. Again, I think Northwestern is going to struggle this year, especially early in the season. I think Tulane, they have one of the best coaches in the country. They did lose their quarterback, but still have a lot of talent on that team. I think they have enough talent to win the American, and I think they definitely have enough talent to beat Northwestern by a touchdown or more.
Okay.
And that's why I'm taking Tulane to cover the 5.5, and that's why I made it another Big Mountain ice cold lock.
Man, Steve, I like that pick a lot. I totally understand why you're locking it. I think Tulane has a really good team, and it's in Tulane, right?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So, yeah, for sure. I haven't bet that game, but I'm going to be marking it right now to go bet it later this evening, no doubt. And there was somebody mentioned something. I want to read it off real quick if I find it. Okay, I can't find it. Keep going, buddy. I'll find it eventually.
So the next game, I'm going to be talking about Indiana. And let me just say, this Indiana team that basically blew up the minds of the SEC.
Till this day.
Till this day, they are still...
Oh, my gosh.
And that's because Coach Kurt Signetti, he freaking owns the SEC. Like, whatever he speaks, he gets the SEC fan base and talking heads on ESPN talking some more. So I have ODU at Indiana, and believe it or not, JY, this might surprise you.
Yes.
Indiana went 11-1 last year, made the playoff.
Yes.
I think they're a better team this year.
Hey!
Yep. I love this roster. I love the guy they brought in at quarterback from Cal.
I know you do.
I think he's going to do really well. They're bringing back a lot of production. I love some of the defensive starters they're bringing back. They might not have as good of a record as last year because their schedule's a little more difficult.
Yeah.
However, ODU at Indiana, I'm taking Indiana to cover the 23.5 points, and I'm making it another Big Mountain ice cold lock.
Steve, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 7 in 16 picks.
Yeah, I love it.
But I'm just going to let everyone know it's going to cool down a little bit with the locks.
It is.
And it is what it is. We go off the schedule. That's how we're picking these, based on the schedule.
Absolutely.
But man, I'm already on some of your locks. I have now marked off. I don't know if I'm on that Indiana line yet. I'm definitely not on the Tulane line yet.
Were you surprised that I locked Indiana at that many
at 23 and a half?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. At the amount of that spread, yes. I was a little surprised you locked them.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that you picked them.
Right.
But the lock there, just because that's a decent amount of points.
We both know Kurt Signetti pretty well, and I think he is going to be uber motivated to come out the gate game one after they've been so questioned.
Yes.
About making the CFP last year, and are they going to do it again this year? Or are they going to fall apart this year? I think the dude is going to want to put up some points, make a statement, get in those SEC fans' heads again, and pedal to the metal. And that with these kind of games, that's usually, when does the coach let his foot off the gas? Well, I don't think Signetti is going to let his foot off the gas the entire game.
All right. Well, a couple things.
Okay.
We have a couple polls tonight.
Yeah.
So we're going to get the first poll up. The first poll is how many. What the heck is the first poll? I didn't write it down. Let's put it up and I'll read it.
How many games will the Big Ten win this week?
Thank you.
Yeah.
How many games will the Big Ten win this week?
Yes.
I have 15, 16, 17, or going for the whopping 18 of 18.
Yeah.
So put your votes in. How many games in week 1 will the Big Ten win? And with that, Steve, your next pick is the halfway point of our pick show.
It is, and so far I have at least one Big Ten team losing straight up. So, yeah. All right. So the next game, Nevada at Penn State. The Wolfpack traveling across the country to Happy Valley State College, Pennsylvania, to play Penn State Nittany Lions in Beaver Stadium.
Yes.
I got to ask Coach Jeff Choate about this, the traveling and what it was going to be like. What's funny, JY, is I've seen actually some Penn State beat writers this week.
Yes.
And some national people referencing our interview with Coach Jeff Choate about his answers. Well, they didn't credit us, though. They said, somebody asked Coach Jeff Choate about traveling. And I'm like, yeah, that somebody is me.
It's funny.
Yeah.
We had a spike in that interview.
Yes.
Within the last few days, and
Yeah.
I wondered why. I figured somebody had shared it.
Yeah.
Somehow. But that interview spiked here the past couple days.
I think one of the guys, when he quoted Jeff Choate, and I replied and shared it in that tweet.
Okay, all right.
And said, yeah, that was me that asked him this question, so that's probably why.
All right.
Yeah, so...
Wow.
Yeah,
very interesting.
Very interesting.
We're big time, Steve.
Yeah, so Nevada traveling across the country, this is going to be a really tough game for Nevada. If this was a top-tier Mountain West team, like a Boise, it would be freaking awesome. I think Nevada, it's almost unfair. The line is 44.5. I think it's a fair line. I'm going to take Penn State to cover the 44.5, even though it's a crazy, stupid line. I'm not going to lock it. For me, there should never be a line like over 40 points. It's just because, again, you never know when the coach is going to take their foot off the gas. I think, honestly, the talent level, the talent mismatch on these two teams is so high. And I think Coach Choate understood that.
Yeah.
He told his players, this is only one game. We're going to go play this game. We're going to have fun. Put some plays on tape, whatever. But just remember, this is one game, and it doesn't matter for the rest of our season.
Right.
So I'm taking Penn. James Franklin has a really great record against the spread, especially with some of these big lines. He likes to, even when he puts his backups, we saw with Bo Perbula last year, a couple years ago when Drew Aller was the backup, we saw he puts his backups in. He wants them to continue to run the whole offense, pushing to score. So I'm taking Penn State to cover the 44.5. I didn't bet this game. I'm not locking it, but I will be there in person.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
One of two games you and I will be picking together because there's two games that a Mountain West team plays.
Yes.
A Big Ten team.
Yeah.
So you'll get my pick on this one in a little bit.
Okay. So the next game, I think this is this next game, pretty big game that a lot of our mountain dwellers will be interested in.
Okay.
Montana State at Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Montana State, obviously one of the best FCS programs in the country the last few years. Well, really for a decade or more. Just really solid, good team. Traveling to Oregon to play at Autzen. It's hard. Autzen's a hard stadium to play in.
Yep.
I tell you what, if I'm an Oregon Duck fan, I am worried about not necessarily losing this game, but how the team looks. I think Oregon, they just have so much talent. They have a really good offensive line. They have good running backs. They're going to be able to run the ball. And they're just bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah.
But I think Montana State will give them enough problems and keep it just close enough under the 27.5. So I'm taking Montana State plus the 27.5. I could see this being like a 35-24 game or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like 39-28, just something crazy.
Okay.
Just a whole bunch of weird scoring.
Okay.
I don't think that Oregon will be able to win this. And I want to further, again, if I'm a Ducks fan, I'm really worried about the quarterback position. Yeah. I've said this over and over again all season. I have not heard anything good about the quarterback position coming out of camp. I think that Dante Moore, I think he's going to struggle early on in the season. It's going to take him a while. Now, the guy is really talented, and by the end of the season, kind of like Ohio State, they might be firing on all cylinders.
Sure.
But early in the season,
yeah.
especially the first month of the season,
yeah.
I think it's going to take him a while to get on track and get up to speed. Now, in this game, I think their talent level will be enough. But again, I think Montana State, they know how to score points. They know how to be successful. They're going to make it tricky enough, I think, on Oregon to stay within that 27.5 point margin. So that's why I'm taking Montana State plus the 27.5 points. Way too many points.
I love it. I love that you're taking Montana State. So make sure you get your poll or answer the poll here. We're going to close it after the next pick. Mm-hmm. Also, Spence says he's just waiting to see if Steve is going to go for FSU again this season. Well, you'll find out in about 6 more picks.
Yes,
he's going to pick the FSU game. I don't know if he's picking FSU. He'll pick that game here shortly, but go ahead for your next one, Steve.
Yep. Okay, next game. This is a huge one I really want to talk about. Not so much from the opponent. Albany's traveling to Iowa. This is going to be our first look at Iowa with former Jackrabbit quarterback Gronowski.
There it is. I told you they were coming back.
They were coming back. 2-time national championship winner, Walter Payton Award winner, I think, who was the player of the year in FCS. Just a fantastic player. I was really excited about him coming in, but I worried, what was he going to look like? I've seen a lot of practice footage. I've seen enough that I think this guy is going to be successful at Iowa, like really successful. I compared. We were chatting earlier, either on X or maybe in the Discord. I can't remember. And I compared him to a Drew Brees. I think this guy is just a baller. He's a gamer. He's super confident. Was already voted a captain. Comes in this summer. Voted a captain of the team. Like the practice footage I'm watching, this dude came in day one, took control. He is the field general, the leader of the team, and the dude can make plays. Like he can move. He can throw on the run.
Yeah.
I'm really high on this quarterback. I'm taking Iowa to cover the 38.5. And again, people need to look out for Iowa. I think this Gronowski is going to be a problem for Big Ten defenses. If I was redoing my season projections, I think I would up Iowa's win total by 1 or 2 games, mostly just because of this quarterback.
I hope you're right about the quarterback sitch. I mean, I know he's a good player. I'm not like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Yes, but it's Iowa, and you're picking them 38.5.
I know.
Be still my heart. I have 2 things. Number 1, I love the Albany symbol. What do you think about that?
It's cool. It's
logo,
cool.
I should say.
Yeah.
I think it's
like a
super
Great
cool.
Dane.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. Those are some massive ears.
Yeah.
You know what he's doing? He's listening to all of our picks. That's what he's doing.
He's
the
like,
other thing,
Iowa's going to score 38.5 points.
That's right.
Shaggy.
Also,
I threw you off with that, didn't I?
You did. Spence, he puts a twist on one of our sayings, and he says, "In Signetti we trust."
Yeah.
And I hear that.
Yeah.
You don't have to You don't have to tell me twice.
Yep.
All right, let's close the poll and see what everybody says, Steve.
Okay.
They say 16, half of the voters say 16 of 18.
Yeah.
That is super strong. Nobody voted for 18. I concur.
Yeah.
I say they have 2 or 3 losses. I'm a
Yes.
16-17 kind of guy. But 15-16 was the vast majority, 92%. Say they have 15 or 16 wins.
Well, so far I've already picked one straight up Big Ten loss.
Okay.
I will tell you I have at least one more.
All right. So you have them at least at 16.
Yes, 15, 16.
All right.
range.
Well, our dwellers say they're going to be at least 16, or everybody says 16 and 2.
Yeah.
But 15 also. So we'll see where
Right
Steve's
there,
at.
yeah.
16, 15. That's a good line. And you're going next to the second Mountain West versus Big Ten team.
Yeah, so New Mexico Lobos at Michigan. Both of these teams, New Mexico's rebuilding yet again. Bronco Mendenhall leaves. Well, I'll let you talk about New Mexico, the Lobos. Michigan, everyone knows I'm down on them this year. However, this is not going to be one of the problems that I think they're going to have are going to hurt them in that Oklahoma game, in the Big Ten, and in the Big Ten. But those problems are not going to show up against the Lobos, in my opinion. So I'm taking Michigan to cover the 34.5. I think they could honestly, just the talent level, the talent discrepancy is just so vast at this point. So not huge on Michigan this year, but I am going to pick them this week to cover the 34.5.
Yeah, I understand that. So Spence asks you something.
Okay.
All right, no, he doesn't ask. He says something.
Okay.
And you've talked about this, not with this coach, but Spence says he's 90% convinced Cignetti looks at the lines before the game and tries to beat it. You've talked about that, I think, with Franklin,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I think
Okay.
there's certain coaches. And the thing is there's certain programs, certain coaches. You kind of have to do that to make a statement to show like that you belong, kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you're Michigan and you're Ohio State, doesn't matter. You just
yeah.
get the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
But those years when Franklin was trying to bring Penn State back up into that top group after the sanctions and all that, he definitely did that, and he maybe still does.
Yeah.
And I think Cignetti too. A lot of Cignetti's whole thing is just the confidence, building the confidence in his team, and that rolls into the fan base and brings in recruiting and money into the program and all of that. So I agree 100%. I don't say 90%. I say 100%. Cignetti is looking at that line, and I think he's taking it as disrespect, honestly. I think he looks at that line and he's like, we should beat them by more than that. I'm taking that as disrespect, and I'm going to beat that line just to show that we're even more better than ODU than 23.5 points.
Wow. Okay, there you go. Okay, you're down to your final, 3 Big Ten picks.
Yeah. So Missouri State at USC. I'm taking USC to cover the 35.5 points. Again, this is one of those. It's a crazy high line, but the talent differential between these two teams is just so vast. It's going to be in LA. I think Jaden Maeva going to come out and have a great game. USC again, just super talented team.
Yeah.
The question will be, how do they fare against Notre Dame and the top Big Ten teams?
Yep.
But that question really doesn't matter this week because they're playing Missouri State, and they're going to, I think, easily cover the 35.5 points.
Yeah, not much to talk about there. Fia says the Great Danes have a crazy logo.
Yeah.
I think
That's
it's
awesome.
super
Yeah.
cool. I feel like it's one of those logos you either think it's really cool or it's really stupid, and I'm a cool guy.
I love that one. I love South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits. I love their logo.
Totally.
Very
Yes.
awesome.
Yep. And that blue and yellow color combo with the yellow
very
jackrabbit
cool.
on the blue. Yeah, I agree with you. Mario says, agree with the Montana State game. I think there was a couple people that appreciated your pick of Montana State getting those points. Not to win the game, but to cover that spread. So, all right, where are we going next?
And JH brought up that point again. I'll touch on it real quick. And you and I kind of differed on this last week. Oregon hasn't come out and named Dante Moore the starter. And you said that's not a big deal, whatever.
I don't think it is.
I still truly do think it is. We haven't heard anything good come out of camp about Dante Moore. That's what's more troubling.
Okay.
If the coach just said, hey, I'm not going to name a starter till the very end, but you would think by this point that they would want to build confidence in this guy, and I've just heard nothing good so far. So, anyways. All right, moving forward, this game, very interesting game. I think you'll like this. Utah at UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Foster, he's done some good things with his team. I think he overachieved a little bit last year. I think he's done a good job of building this roster. However, so it's Utah at UCLA. Utah is 5.5-point favorites. Utah's they're moving on to the next era. They're getting a lot of players back last year.
Yeah.
They were out of the P4 teams last year, they lost the most man games, I think they call it. Basically due to injury of any P4 program last year, and almost all of those people are coming back healthy. I think Utah, I'm high on Utah this year. Ton of experience coming back, getting guys back from injury. I think UCLA is still going to struggle. They got Iamaleava, whatever. I'm leaving Tennessee and going to UCLA. I think it'll just take him a little bit to kind of get up to speed there. So I like Utah to not only cover the 5.5 points. I almost locked this game. I was super close. I think they win by a touchdown, honestly, or more. Was very close to locking this game, but I'm just going to keep it as a pick. But I just want to let our viewers know that this one was almost a lock. But I love Utah to cover that 5.5 points.
And this is your second, then.
Straight up loss.
Yep. So right now you're at 16-2, and you have one more pick. Yeah. And I have a funny feeling you don't think Washington's going to lose to Colorado State.
No. Colorado State's traveling to Seattle to play Washington. I'm huge on Washington this year. I think they're going to be the surprise sleeper team in the Big Ten. They're the Indiana this year, maybe, if that's what you want to call them. I think that they're going to easily cover this 21.5. If it was, I thought about locking this game. If it was under 21, like we're talking about 19.5, 20.5, I would have locked it. The fact that it's just over the 3 touchdown mark, I didn't lock it, but I feel really good about this Washington team. I think they're going to want to come out at home and make an impression. Jed Fish, I love what he's done with this team. I love the potential of their quarterback this year, and their roster is just a lot better.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to diss on Colorado State. I think they have a chance of being good this year. I like some of the players they have coming back. I just really feel this is Washington's year. I love their talent. Everything is lined up for them to make a run. The game is in Seattle. So that's why I picked Washington to cover the 21.5.
Well, I want to clear something up. Do you believe Texas will beat Ohio State straight up?
Yes.
Well, then you are 15-3.
Yep.
Because you have Tulane winning.
Yep.
You've got Utah winning.
Yep.
And you took Texas at plus 2.5.
You're right. Yeah, so I forgot to mention. Yeah,
so
that's
Steve
3.
is on the, and of course, 16-15, we knew it would be right in there. Yeah. But Steve is actually on the 15-3. The only two that I looked at the lines, the only two that are kind of the next closest to those would be Ohio upsetting Rutgers, would be FAU upsetting Maryland. I mean, you're talking 2 touchdown spreads here.
Right.
So, but you have the Big Ten going 15-3 in week 1. And Steve, now the moment that Spence has been waiting for.
Yes.
You're going to pick the Florida State game.
Yeah, so Alabama at Florida State. We had Doug Rohan and TJ Pittinger on. Did a preview of this game. It was a lot of fun. A lot of big difference in the tone this year from those guys than last year. They were very confident last year. This year was like a little more good cop, bad cop. When one guy's confident, one guy's not, kind of thing.
Well, they're coming. Last year they were coming. Everybody's high on the hog. This year they're going, I don't know how high I want to get.
Which I get it. I totally get it. I like, it's going to sound crazy. I like this Florida State team. I like the guy that they brought in at quarterback, Castellanos. They bring in Gus Malzahn, who was the dude basically left. He was not fired by UCF. He left his head coaching job at UCF to be the offensive coordinator at Florida State. Castellanos is a fantastic quarterback for his system. He was a terrible quarterback for Bill O'Brien's system. It did not work out, but he comes down there. I like I love him in that system. And Gus Malzahn is a guy that he will run the ball, keep scoring down, keep time of possession up. This Alabama team, everybody is super, super high on them. From my last impression of Alabama last year is, they lose a game towards the end of the year at Oklahoma. They get their butts kicked by a Michigan team in the bowl game that was missing tons and tons of players. I got to see it with Alabama. I think Alabama probably wins this game.
Yeah.
There's going to be rain. I think there's an 80-90% chance of rain, and there's a chance it might rain for like significant amounts of time during the game.
Okay.
I think this will be a low-scoring game. So I'm taking Florida State plus the 13.5. I think Alabama probably wins just because their roster is a little bit better. However, I like Florida State to keep it close, muddy game, running the ball a lot, run the ball. And I think Florida State will have a chance late to get that upset. Now, whether they can actually make it happen, that definitely remains to be seen.
Okay.
But I like Florida State plus the 13.5.
Okay. I am seeing at least this screen give us some fits, so I'm going to get rid of the Wi-Fi on my phone to see if that helps or not.
Spence says, Steve, don't do it.
Spence, I'm with you, brother. I mean, good luck, Steve.
Yeah.
But I'm with Spence.
Well, here's the thing is, we've been doing this show. This is our third year. I didn't pick FSU the first year.
Correct.
If I would have just picked FSU, I would have just won every game that year.
Yes.
Last year, it was the down cycle.
Yes.
So maybe this year it's coming back up. It's coming back around.
I understand. I'm going to get to a couple quick comments. So Mario and David like the Lobos. They think Lobos cover. Lobos defense is going to be better. Of course, they've got that stud running back coming from Montana State, Humphrey. So we'll see. I'll pick that game here in just a little tiny bit. Fia thinks the Rams will cover versus, and JEH says go Rams. Of course, he's rooting for an incoming Pac team in that one and hating on a leaving Pac team.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's why. I mean, it's JEH.
Yeah. He likes stir the pot.
Yes. And okay, that's three. Well, I can't count. That's the third.
Well, also,
Mountain
JH,
West Big Ten team.
being an Oregon State, I'm guessing he probably just doesn't like Washington anyways.
Well, that could be. Yes. And then I saw Kyle says go Pokes. Reminder, I know we're getting more West Coasters joining us here. I will be live, doing a live preview at the Wyoming-Akron game tomorrow. So hopefully you can join us here on YouTube or on X doing that live pregame before the Akron-Wyoming Cowboy game. And then, let's get to my pick, Steve. So for those...
Well, I got one more pick.
That's right. You have one more. Sorry,
Yep.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to pick the Clemson game. I'm picking all Florida State and all Clemson games this year because I believe they're the two most likely teams to be joining the Big Ten next.
Is that what the AD from Maryland said?
He didn't give names.
I know, I'm joking.
Yeah.
You did.
I did.
And you
yes.
have been.
Yes. And we also heard that maybe the SEC might be interested in North Carolina today. That was yeah.
Did you see my tweet on that?
I did. Well, thanks for telling us something we already knew.
Tell me something I didn't know there, Brady. All right, go ahead.
So, right there with the Texas and Ohio State game, LSU traveling to Clemson. So, Tigers versus Tigers. I think they might call their stadiums Death Valley, too. But Clemson is a 3.5-point favorite. I like Clemson to cover this. I think Clemson this year with Cade Klubnik.
I'd say Klubnik.
Klubnik, yeah.
Right, but...
Klubnik coming back. To me, he was one of the best, especially late in the season, was one of the best quarterbacks in the country last year. Another year of experience. I really like him a lot this year. And I like this Clemson roster. They got talent all up and down. Now, Clemson has gone about things way different than, let's say, a Florida State team. They have built through the high school recruiting. Yes. Not very much portal additions at all, which that kind of leaves you, if you're not using the portal and you have some holes to fill, you can have some down years when you have holes, but you can also have some up years when your high school talent really comes up.
Yep.
And I think this is the year for Clemson. Their high school talent is just, so much NFL talent all over the roster. I'm high on Clemson this year. I picked them to win the ACC. I picked them to represent the ACC in the CFP, and I'm taking Clemson to cover the 3.5 points. It's at home. I think even on neutral field, I'd pick Clemson to win, but it's at their place. And honestly, I wonder, we're not an SEC podcast, but I wonder for Brian Kelly this year if this could end up being his last year at LSU. But I'm high on Clemson.
Don't forget that P.
Yeah, Clemson. So I'm taking Clemson. I'm not locking it, Big Mama. So just calm down.
Big Mama says they put the lock on.
I know. Calm down, Big Mama. But I'm
Drink
picking
that
Clemson.
Kool-Aid and eat those lime chips.
Yes, but I'm picking Clemson minus the 3.5.
All right, I got to talk about some people in the
Okay,
chat.
let's
Steve.
do it. I love
They're
it.
giving you a little razz.
I love it.
And I
Bring it on.
freaking love it.
Bring it
So
on.
Spence gives you cry face because you're picking FSU again. And Spence says FSU athletics department upped your NIL money here this year. Then Eric comes in and says you have a double life in Tallahassee and you drink for free in Tallahassee.
Hey,
So I love it. You got to give him a little razz, guys.
I love it. But bring when they cover, when they stay within that 13.5,
Yeah.
Spence, bring that same energy, buddy. Bring that same energy.
I think he will.
Yeah. Now, and Spence is also in the Klubnik Club.
There you have it. The Klubnik Club. All right, so let's get to Mountain West picks. Just as a reminder, I did the Thursday and Friday earlier.
Yep.
Again, we have a lot of new viewers here that I'm sure are more of the Western folk, the Mountain West peeps. So I just want to give a reminder. I already picked Boise minus 5.5 over USF, given the points. YO minus 5.5 at Akron. I ice cold locked Wyoming minus 5.5. Again, I'll be at that game tomorrow night, literally right now, watching live Wyoming Cowboy football. And then Stony Brook at San Diego State. I took San Diego State minus 18.5. And then on Friday night, I have UNLV. I had already picked them at 12.5. You can now get them at 9.5. But I'm a man of my pick, and I have them at 12.5 over Sam Houston State. And then I have San Jose State at minus 13.5 over Central Michigan. My second Big Mountain Ice Cold lock. Love the Spartans at minus 13.5. So let's get to my Saturday picks. Again, for those new people, we are drinking, thank you, UC Davis, the Gun Rock Gifted Dweller Brew, the number 4 Dweller Brew here from UC Davis. And again, Gun Rock is the name of the horse, the Aggie, and it's Sudwork Brewing Company. And this is in Davis, California.
Yep. And it's a hazy IPA.
It was delicious. All right. Next one. One of several that I will be picking with you. This is Nevada at Penn State, a game that Steve will be at on Saturday. Steve took Penn State at minus 44.5. I am going to flip the script. I am going to take the points because it's so many points. Take the points with Nevada. You said, everything you said, I agree with that, but I'm taking the points because of everything that you said. I think, and also I will say, I think Nevada, again, two just different teams, right? I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, they have a chance. But as I said in the preview, this is a team that could surprise this year. I love the quarterback here with Purdy.
Yep.
Jeff Choate's in his second year, and I like where Nevada's at. And yes, they're flying across country. Yes, they're playing the number 1, 2, whatever team in the country. But I'm just going to take the points again, as you said, a bit of a kind of a coin flippy thing. Like I'm not betting it. I'm not strong one way or the other. But we're committed to picking every Big Ten and Mountain West pick, and that's what we're doing, and I'm taking the points.
I can never blame someone for taking 44.5 points.
Yeah. So next one, we have Bucknell traveling to Air Force. Bucknell, not too far from where we are right
up the
now.
road.
Yeah, not too far. And a surprising, I kind of laughed at the pick that you picked, Iowa, 38.5. Well, this line's 30.5. For Air Force, a team that really struggled the first 2/3 of the season last year, really came on last year, found their game. They return a lot of those players. And yes, I am actually picking Air Force to cover 30.5. It's a lot of points, but I like their running game. This is going to be more of the Air Force that us Mountain West fans are used to. And I think they have enough to cover a pretty big spread for an Air Force team here at 30.5. So I'm taking the Fighting Flying Falcons.
What kind of sign is it going to be for 2025 if both Iowa and Air Force win games by more than 30 points?
Can you believe that?
That would be crazy.
I may parlay that just for the craps of it. Probably will lose, but I'm still going to do it. All right, next game, another one that you picked, UNM at Michigan. This one I am going to agree with you on. I am taking Michigan minus 34.5. I'm not comfy with this either. I think if UNM can get their running game going a little bit and he can break a few biggies there, Humphrey, like maybe they can keep it within this spread. But, Michigan's a beast. And yes, they're not as good as they were 2 years ago. But just too many question marks right now. Like, I got to see the Lobos play. I got to see what they got. Love Coach Eck. Love everything that they're doing down there. But I just, at this point in the season, week 1, with where these programs are at, I got to just take Michigan at minus 34.5. It's no hate on the Lobos at all, but way too many questions for me to take UNM in that game. A big one here, one that I did a preview for, UTEP at Utah State. A game where we have an incoming Mountain West team playing an outgoing, a departing Mountain West team, one of several we will have this year. So, up the ante just a little bit in this game. Again, did a preview with Adrian Broadus with 600 ESPN El Paso. Make sure you check that preview out. It dropped yesterday. A lot of fun. He brought a lot of energy, a lot of good intel on the Miners. And, he kind of said, I like it to be a close game. He's just not yet confident. He's a Miner fan. He's been a Miner fan for 20 plus years. He knows what they've been or haven't been. And Malachi Nelson here gets the starting gig finally at, after his 5-star status going to USC. He's going to be the next X, Y, and Z. He gets the starting gig. I think they got something special down there. I don't think it's an 8-win season for UTEP, but I'm going to take the points at 5.5. I think it's going to be a close enough game where if I'm getting 5.5, I'm okay taking those points. I'm not saying UTEP wins the game straight up necessarily, but I do like taking the 5.5 points because I think it's a field goal. That's where I'm at. Maybe a touchdown, which is a loss for me. But I think it'll be close enough because USU, I love Bryson Barnes. I just don't know what he has around him. Like, I'm really worried about what that offense, outside of Bryson, what they're going to have. They lost one of their top receivers, a junior, and Thompson. He's injured. He's out. They lose Ike Larson. Larson. The massive safety. He's been suspended for 6 weeks, possibly more, I'm being told. And I think UTEP probably passes a lot and gets a lot of yards against Utah State's defense. So I love taking the points here with the Miners.
I'm really interested in Malachi Nelson.
Yeah.
He's finally kind of getting a shot. I mean, he was a young guy, very talented, but had some trouble at his other stops, maybe like picking up the playbook and all that stuff.
Right.
More experienced now. I'm really interested if finally UTEP is a place where his talent can really shine and really show, because the guy's got all the talent in the world. And I'm with you. I like Barnes. For Utah State, like him a lot. I think he's a really good player. I liked him, talking to him at Mountain West Media Days.
Yep.
But I agree with you. I think it's going to be close, so it doesn't surprise me you're taking the points, basically. I feel like whether you would take the points maybe in this game, no matter what.
Either way, for sure. So the next game here, Georgia Southern at Fresno State. I'm very interested in this game. I'm interested in a lot. Of course, I'm going to love going to the Wyoming game and But in terms of where Fresno's at versus Georgia Southern, I'm high on Georgia Southern. I'm not 100% sure where Fresno State's at. Very small line, 1.5. I mean, it's about a pick'em game here for the Fresno State game. They are in Fresno State. We all know what happened against Kansas. I'm not overly concerned. Kansas's offense and, just a bit of a different team there than what Fresno has. But I think this is the real litmus test for this team right now, early in the season. I'm actually taking Georgia Southern here at -1.5. Again, about a pick'em. I just have more confidence in what's coming back with that team. Yes, I know they're traveling, but I like Georgia Southern here. But I'm very interested to see what the Bulldogs are able to come back and kind of show us against a team that's probably fairly evenly matched against the Bulldogs. Then we have Hawaii traveling to Arizona, coming off the huge win versus Stanford there. Alejado says he's going to play and he's going to be ready to play. I am not so sure. He might play. I'm not saying he's not going to play, but what percentage is he going to be at? I mean, you saw how hobbled he was in that game, and they still kept him in. And he has great talent, but I can't trust that injury in this game. And it's very Jekyll and Hyde here. Is Hawaii home versus away? They're playing at Arizona. Not that I'm like huge on Arizona. Just too many question marks for me right now with Hawaii, with the quarterback situation in the house. So I'm taking Arizona at 17.5, but wouldn't be surprised at all if Hawaii can actually cover that spread.
You talk about Jekyll and Hyde, and that's something I've said the last few years
Yes.
about Hawaii. And you're right. They're absolutely Jekyll and Hyde. They have been on the road versus at home. Also in that game, in that Stanford game, once he was hurt, there was a total different team between before the injury.
Yeah.
The game changed. I mean, they were lucky to win the game because it changed when Alejandro went out or went to the tent.
Yep.
I'm kind of interested. Let's see what happens at the very beginning. He comes out after the first drive. If he's himself, then they might be in this game.
Absolutely.
But if he doesn't look like he did, for the first half of that Hawaii game,
right.
I just wonder if they just kind of take him out.
Yeah.
Is this game really that important? They already got a Power 4 win over Stanford. Now, maybe pack it up, let the other guy get some time, and start focusing on your Mountain West schedule.
100%. There's no reason for me to push this kid in this game. And I don't know exactly. Other than him saying, I'm going to start. I'm ready to go. I don't know what the injury is, but everything you just said, I totally agree with all that.
And I gotta say, if the way Alejandro played, if he could come back healthy and get into the Mountain West schedule, playing like he did against Stanford, Hawaii might be a dark horse Mountain West champion candidate.
They have the offense. All right, I have two more here, Steve. Third of three that you and I are both picking. This is this is the last Mountain West game I have, and then I have an out of conference game. Yep. So the last Mountain West is the Colorado State at Washington. Line 21.5. I'm going to go with you again. I'm going to take Washington minus 21.5. So we're 2 out of 3 in agreement on. I think Washington, you've talked about them a lot. I question Colorado State. A lot of people wonder why. They've got a 3-year returning quarterback. They have da-da-da. Yeah, I know they have all that. They also have a harder schedule this year. Mm-hmm. And at best, they're the same team as last year. At best. And I think they actually are not as good as they were last year. So I like Washington here at 21.5. Again, not a game I'm probably going to bet.
Right.
But that's the pick I got. So the last one I have is Holy Cross at NIU. I know we have a lot of NIU followers. The line here, 10.5. They're in NIU, in DeKalb. And I'm going to be taking the Huskies minus 10.5. As we all know, they will be incoming to the Mountain West next year. So I'll be following both NIU and UTEP extremely closely, probably picking all their games. I haven't decided yet. I figured I'd throw NIU in here to this one. Of course, I'm already picking UTEP because they're playing Utah State. But taking NIU minus 10.5 versus Holy Cross.
JH says, Huck the Fuskies. I thought maybe he was not a Husky fan. And he also he says Hawaii should just sit Alejandro. You texted me, I think, after the game, and you're like, they should just sit him. I can't say like I disagree.
Without knowing the extent of the injury, I can't comment. But if it's at all serious and he needs more time to fully recover, I agree. They should just sit the kid.
I saw one of the quotes from, I think it was the coaching. It might have been Timmy Chang, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was their offensive coordinator.
Okay.
And it said that he will be available. And when I read it, I was like,
It's an interesting way.
Yes. So we'll see.
We'll find out. If he doesn't start, then I'm very glad I took Arizona minus 17.5. So let's put up our last poll. This poll being the same poll as the first, although we're talking about the Mountain West this time. How many games will the Mountain West win? I don't know why I put MC. That's a typo. That's MW.
Yeah.
That's my fault. Mountain West win in week 1. 6, 7, 8, or 9 plus. 6, 7, 8, 9 plus. So get your votes in. We'll leave that up for a little while. We have one last topic. I want to talk about the Pac-12 real quick. The news came out again on Wednesday. Everybody knows they got to drop stuff for us on a Wednesday because they know we have a big mountain pod that we've got to do. So I have a slide we can pull up here that has just some information. This came out with the press release that they dropped here with the CW and the Pac-12 agreeing to continue their relationship moving forward. I'll read a quick quote here from Teresa Gould. She says, "Our partnership with the CW has been one of mutual growth and transformation from the development of our Pac-12 Enterprises broadcast production business to the significant added value and positive impact to our current and future members via true national reach across 100% of U.S. television households." So a couple highlights I just want to bring out here, and of course you can see some of the highlights they have there on the screen. They will have now all what they call their 3 jewel events, which is their 3 main championships. The football and the men's and women's basketball will all be on kind of these national broadcasts. Football and men's basketball championship games will be on CBS, and the women's basketball now will be on the CW. So great for the Pac. They get all 3 on, national broadcast media partners. So that's really good. Also, they did say that further media rights partnerships for the new Pac-12 will be announced following finalized agreements. So something we kind of already knew. They're not going to just have 2. They're going to have 3 or 4. I think the rumors are they're probably going to have 4 at this point. But they do say that, they're going to continue on and continue to add media partners. And no real surprise here, Steve, that the CW is continuing to be a partner. We've talked about that for a very, very long time. And this is not surprising. It's not surprising they're kind of the second tier member. They are kind of known a little bit more as a discount, if you will, member. And the nice thing that they have is they don't really have that production arm. So the Pac Network, Pac-12 Enterprises, I got to say the right word, Pac-12 Enterprises can still produce the content.
Yep.
And then, the CW's airing the content.
Right.
So, again, not surprising, but any thoughts on that, Steve?
I agree, not surprising. And I think it was pretty obvious that the Pac, kind of like the ACC, going with this package allows them to have their games on an over-the-air network, which I think is huge and was important to them. And then also, even for people who are on cable, it's up at the top of the cable guide, with the NBC, ABC, all of those things. So I think that was important. To me, just not a big surprise. I mean, not for all of this between the Pac-12 media partners, the Mountain West media partners. To me, there hasn't been anything yet that I was like, oh my gosh, this is totally surprising or whatever. I think it's just kind of everything has fallen into place, status quo, kind of like we expected.
So I talked about item number 1 that you see here on this kind of the highlights, the women's basketball championship. I talked about what's on the bottom where the Pac Enterprises is going to be, the production arm of all 66 games. The details here are 13 regular season football games, 35 men's basketball games, and 15 women's basketball games are what will be shown on the CW. We don't have the details as to the CBS agreement. Right. We don't know how many games are going to be in total on CBS and CBS Sportsnet. I was a little surprised. The basketball content here is fantastic. No two-way, no two ways about that. But we're not a basketball pod. I don't really care about that, to be blunt.
Right.
I care about the football. I was surprised with 13, but again, you got to have to couch that around. They're going to have other partners. We don't know exactly how many CBS has yet, but 13 really that's 1 a week, right?
Yeah.
We have probably in conference we'll have 4 games a week. 1 of the 4 will be on the CW. I thought I was expecting that to be a little bit more, and I'm not knocking the Pac. That was a bit of a surprise to me.
I don't know if I'm that surprised because I think that they also have the CW. They have 1 ACC game of the week on. And so they have kind of like an early time slot and then a later time slot with this. I don't think I was that surprised, especially if they already have CBS, and if they're talking about another media partner, I mean, there's only so much inventory.
I understand
to go around.
I understand.
I did notice on X, a lot of people were surprised. I know you said we're not a basketball podcast, and I agree with you. We do talk about it somewhat, but there was a lot of. It seemed like Pac fans were surprised that CW was wanting so much basketball. That was, I think, pleasantly surprised. They were happy with that.
For sure. Well, let's close our last poll, and then we are going to wrap this sucker up. Of course, a little bit longer tonight because we picked 33 games. Holy shnikes, Steve.
Yep.
That's going to be how it is here for the first 4 weeks until we get into the conference schedule. But we've got, I closed that too small, but we've got 6 saying, well, we're spread over pretty good here.
Yeah.
38% at 6. 33% at 7, 22% at 8, and only 5% at 9. Yeah, 9 is, I think, 9 plus is...
They would need some upsets.
That's very strong. Yeah. But, I think in week 1, given the schedule, given who these teams play, I don't even know what I did straight up, Steve. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... I'll have to decide if I'm picking USU straight up. I'm 6 or 7, which isn't surprising.
Right.
That's,
there, where
the 60 or 70% say 6 or 7. So I'm 6 or 7. I will lock in my money line pick on the UTEP USU. That makes me between 6 and 7. Everything else for me is fairly straightforward. But for a Mountain West team with some of the games that they have here, the UNM versus Michigan and some of those guys, nothing wrong with that for a G6 conference. So, Steve, we got through it.
I'm excited. I'm ready to watch some football now.
So here's what I'm going to do. Prep for my trip to Akron. I'm going to put in some bets on your Tulane and Indiana locks. And then I'm going to go watch Will's episode on the Mountain West.
I'm going to check that out.
That's what I'm going to do tonight.
I'm going to start sleeping.
Okay.
Because the next 3 days I'm going to be doing nothing but watch football.
I understand.
Some point in there I'm going to go buy a case of that State Light, Dweller Brew State Light, to take tailgating on Saturday.
Okay.
I'm so excited to have 4 Big Ten games tomorrow night. I just can't even... And I'm excited for you to be going to that Wyoming game at Akron.
So live preview of the Akron-Wyoming game on our channel. I'll have it up. I'm going to try to get live around 6 o'clock Eastern. 6 o'clock Eastern. The game's at 7 Eastern. And hey, thank you guys so much. We had a great chat going on in the cellar this evening. We had another Dweller Brew. We had, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 locks going into this. We're already started 3-1 on the season after week 0. And my goodness, we are going to explode, hopefully, for a lot of dubs here in week 1. So, hey, we thank you guys so much for watching this. If you didn't already, smash that like button. We really appreciate all the chatter there in the cellar. And with that, we'll see you next time on the Big Mountain.